really
Well,
nice.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Guy, right? I know, man. Thank you so much, Rodney. That means a lot. Good morning. I'm glad to be here. It's really cool to be doing this in person. I think we've been a couple of these where they've been online, everything there, so it's nice to be able to be here and present. I was on this stage last night doing some karaoke, so it's good to be in more of a professional capacity here, and now we're doing it for Atomic Mass Games. So I'm Ross Thompson, the Director of Marketing here at Atomic Mass Games, and we are celebrating 5 years as a company. So we've been around for 5 years now doing, yes, thank you very much. I only started back in November, but I'll take all the credit for that, so it's great. But we've been doing Marvel Protocol, we've got Star Wars Legion, Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Shatterpoint, and all these games are on our lines, a lot of cool stuff. So in this presentation today, we're going to go over new releases, go over some retailer support, and then of course, I know we've got questions about organized play and other things there, so I'll have a little bit on slides for that, but of course we can cover that for the Q&A. Feel free to ask too, and then I'll be at the booth for the show. So let's start. MCP, here we go. So who here currently carries Marvel Protocol in their store? Awesome, good amount of hands, awesome. Who here currently knows what Marvel is? Yeah, very good, awesome. So for our core box for MCP, we have our CP143 Earth's Mightiest Heroes. This is back in stock now, so it was a little bit out for the last couple of months. This is the main core product for MCP. It comes with a lot of great characters, everything you need to kind of start to play the game. It's got its terrain, it's got its tokens, it's got its cards, everything else in this set. Well, we are too big for the thing, which is great. You can't hold all the heroes, but of course we have our Ultron, Iron Man, Captain America. It is now back in stock now, well, which is great. And then this, we can go back. So this is kind of our main core product for MCP. There is the CP01, which is the main core box, which I think a lot of people still can get too. That still has a lot of the main heroes. These are different sculpts, updated cards, but they all still work for the same game. So we're going to be going over character packs and affiliation packs and stuff like that, but everything's still based around these two core boxes, which kind of includes everything you need to kind of play MCP. So going from that, we just had a bunch of new releases, very X-Men heavy. Who here is currently watching X-Men 97? Yeah, I have some hands shoot up there. There we go. Yeah, really good. Magneto was right. So, but with our new packs, these are really cool. We're seeing a lot of great success with the Cable and Nightcrawler kit and the Iceman and Kitty Pryde. These have been doing really well. X-Men kind of live in their own little world, marketing-wise and licensing-wise, but they're in the game. We're good to have them, and there's their own affiliation pack along with the Brotherhood have been doing really well. For our new releases, we just came out with for pre-order in May, which is now. So we've got of course, our Scarlet Spider and Gwenom. They are gameplay-wise. I know it's we have way more spider foes and spider friends than people think we have, but they provide more balance to the game, really fill that out, which is great. But our big one here is our affiliation pack for our Sinister Six, right? So we've got the Sandman, we've got the Vulture, Electro, and Shocker, and he's got his big hands and extra pieces there. So those do work as extra miniatures out on the board, and the figure is huge. I wish I had it here to show off, but it's going to be a big pack coming out later this month. And we've got our Shang-Chi and Silver Sable. I was just rewatching Shang-Chi on the flight over. These are going to be a really cool set. We're really jazzed for these guys. They're going to add more in the Defenders affiliation. And then we've got our Namor and Black Panther Chosen of Bast. So for these two, this is our first time introducing Namor into the MCP. It's really a pretty rad miniature. And then for Black Panther, this is going to be him on more of a mystical route. So we have one currently where he is force-based and everything here. So this one's going to be more on that like mystical energies energy belt. So we've got our new more of Asgardians, and so we introduced these really cool sculpts of Loki and of Sif and of Mighty Thor and of course the hero of Midgard. And so these are going to be a really cool way. We're going to have more of these affiliation packs. As you're seeing in kind of the last couple of sets here, we're introducing more of these characters all in one to kind of help with that SKU creep. We know we've got a lot of characters that fill up the shelf. So we're going to be having a lot more packs that are coming out too that are going to be combining previous character packs into larger packs. So instead of having like one-offs or two-offs, you'll have 3 or 4 characters or 5 in a box set. Along with that, we're introducing these cool scenario packs that introduce more than just the way to play in the core game or based on tournaments. They're going to provide these more of these like fantasy scenarios kind of thing. So Mojo being a main villain for the X-Men, we've got a cool fantasy football sort of thing here. We just played this at Adepticon. We'll do questions at the end. And so we just had him at Adepticon, which was a blast. People really enjoyed it. It's kind of this cool little bit there, but it comes with promo cards and tokens and things you can use. These are available to pick up. Of course, you can use the promo cards for whatever you feel fit, but if you want, of course, we've got them available in this scenario pack. And we'll do questions at the end for that kind of stuff there. New previews we've got coming out. So Q3, we just showed off, we're going to have Weapon X and Maverick. So we had just shown this off recently. This is one more Wolverine, but it's one of my favorite sculpts for this thing here, so we're really jazzed for this coming out. Our other one, too, we've got more of the New Mutants coming out with Sunspot and Warlock. And this will be coming out in Q3. And then for our big push this year, those are good faces to see. Great. So one of the things we're going to be doing more on our end is having these big thematic releases and these big thematic pushes. So, of course, Apocalypse. We all know him for an X-Men baddie. He's really cool. He is bigger than Dormammu. So if you've been following any of that, he's pretty massive. He's going to have a whole slew of stuff, which we're going to go into. On our marketing end, we're going to be doing more kits and stuff around some of these thematic releases. So I know we had a big ask for like organized play and some of these things there. We're going to have a kit based around Apocalypse. It's going to be a cool kit you can get. It'll come with some posters, some promo cards, things like that, which you can get through your distributors. And so with Apocalypse, he's going to have these cool little terrain bits, but of course he's going to have more to go with it too. So we're going to have some cool Shrine of Ensurbanur. I can never say that right, but it's going to have a cool pack with that. And I think I included the other kit in that too. Oh, I didn't. But there's also going to be another terrain pack that has more columns and biometric pieces and everything there. So, and these are all things you can pick up and throw and use, of course, at MCP. And then Apocalypse also has a way to make his characters into his heralds and things like that. And so, of course, you can't have Apocalypse without Archangel. And so this will include a nice 2-pack with Angel and Archangel, which these miniatures look so cool. So once they come out, you'll be able to pick them up and do all that. We're jazzed. So they'll be coming out in Q3. They'll be coming out at the same time as Apocalypse and the other sets. And so with that, as I was talking about, we're going to be working on, we know there's been a big push for more organized play, more of that stuff. You have been heard. Literally, I started back in November, and we started working on that right away. So we're going to have cool thematic releases for some fun stuff there based around the different stuff that's coming out. So, of course, we got Apocalypse and everything there. But we're going to work on generic kits, too. They're going to have stuff for tournaments and leagues and all of that. So we'll have more information to share on that, on how to order those very shortly. And then along with that, we're going to have these kits where they'll be kind of in that generic use. So they're going to have promo cards and stuff. So you can use them for demo nights, or you can use them for tournaments, or for a league, or whatever you want to use them for. Along with that, everything's going to be available through that. On retailer communication, the more communication education we can do together, the better, right? I want to know what you're doing. I want to share what we're doing. So we're working on our retailer newsletter. We'll have that available pretty soon. And then we're going to have more stuff available for the DUs. Of course, they can contact there. And then I'm going to more shows. So I'll be here. I'll be at Gen Con. I'll be all around. So if you want to meet up and do all that. We ran a really cool retailer presentation at Adepticon. It did really well for us. So we're going to try to hit up more of those at consumer shows. So we'll share up, hey, we're going to be at the show if you want to come meet up. We did like a half-an-hour presentation, had some snacks. It was really great. So, of course, if you need digital assets and sell sheets and things, please let us know. Please let your DUs know we have all that available. Next is going to be Star Wars Shatterpoint. Star Wars Shatterpoint is celebrating 1 year of release now. It was a big push last year. Who carries Star Wars Shatterpoint? Awesome. Here, who knows what Star Wars is? So as we do that, for our big set, everything in As Our Games for Lifestyle Games based around this big core box. So in our core box for Shatterpoint, do I have another picture? Nope, I don't. Cool, I've got that. And so in this one, this has everything you need to play. It comes with its 2 main factions. Who here doesn't currently carry Shatterpoint or knows what Shatterpoint is? Fair enough. Oh, cool. Let's talk after the booth. We can do all that. So, but essentially, it has different eras and different characters from across the Star Wars universe. And a fun thing you can do with Shatterpoint is really having it where it captures a moment in time. So for Star Wars, there's so many moments where we remember, like, there's Luke and Han and Leia escaping the Death Star, or there's Ahsoka as she's in Death Watch, or different things there. And so Shatterpoint allows us to capture those moments and then create miniatures that are, thematic and exciting, and to do that. Because they're 40 mil, they're a little bit bigger too, so they have that statuesque sort of look to them, so we know it has a hobby feature to it, but also has a cool gameplay where they can do different stuff. So for our new releases, we just came out with, I think everybody got these a little bit ago, our Ewoks, and our Lead by Example pack, which does include the Ahsoka, which came from the early pre-release there, so now she's in full bit there, and these Ewoks are super fun. If you haven't put them together yet, there are so many teddy bears, which is great. And then our other new set, of course, just came out, with our Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, with Darth Vader based on original concept art for the big cape. We've got a couple Vaders out there, so it's kind of fun to change that up. And these are now available now. Our new stuff, these came out, I believe, this week. So your store should be able to have these up. So, of course, the Bad Batch, Season 3 did just finish up, so no spoilers if no one's watched it yet. But we're really jazzed for that character there. We also just announced, I think I've got it in this presentation, but if not, what's cool with Bad Batch is we know there's moments in time. So with Crosshair, he had a point in time doing something else. So if that was previewed too, I think I've got it in this presentation. We'll find out, and if not, we'll go back to it. And then, of course, we've got Moff Gideon, who's all watched The Mandalorian, right? So he's got his dark saber there with his dark troopers, which is pretty rad. And then this is the way, right? So we've got our great Mandalorian and Greef Karga and IG-11. And so this set just came out this week or last week. We expect this is going to do very well. And then, of course, our good friend Hondo Anaka. So doing all that stuff. I literally just played a game last week with him in Cad Bane. It was really cool with that scoundrel ability they had. So a lot of cool board control. For folks who are going to kind of change things up a little bit, it was a fun play. And then new stuff coming out. So we just announced that we're going to be doing the Today the Rebellion Dies, so from Battlefront 2, the Inferno Squad, doing everything there. We've had some really cool thematic photos of these different scenarios there. So this is a really cool set for us. It really builds on that Imperial Empire. So they've got a lot of cool keywords that play off that. Also, we've got our really nice Han Solo and Chewbacca on Endor, real quiet like squad pack. The licensor told us that this is probably one of his favorite Han Solos he's ever seen. So we're really stoked for that. It came out really, really well. And then, of course, Chewbacca's got some robot arm he's beat up. So that's how Wookiees do that, right? Which is great. So the set's going to play really well with the Rebels, and they've got some cool keywords that allow for some sneaky abilities that are a little different than what we've seen in Shatterpoint so far. Along with that, we've got cool mission packs. So in Shatterpoint, as you're playing through different phases and capturing different zones, it's neat to have different scenarios and things you're doing. So this mission pack coming out in June is going to introduce some new things to capture, new tokens to pick up, and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to this coming out and providing some more variety for Shatterpoint. And then who here has seen Star Wars Rebels? Oh, not as many hands up. Go watch Star Wars Rebels. It's really good. But with that, we, of course, are bringing in Star Wars Rebels characters. Along with the Apocalypse thing, we're doing more of those thematic releases for MCP. Same thing for Shatterpoint. So we're going to be having a full thematic kit coming out for Rebels, and with the villain that they fight, which I think we'll get into in this presentation there. So their promo card kit's going to include their wanted posters as cool little bits. Those are going to be the promo cards there. A fun scenario with that. And then, of course, we're going to have the different setups. So we've got our Stronger Than Fear with Kanan, Ezra, and Zeb. But you wouldn't have them, of course, without Hera, Sabine, and Chopper, which were super. So if you just watched Ahsoka, of course you know about these characters here. But this is them in their Rebels phase, so they're still causing havoc on Lothal. They do all kinds of cool stuff. And of course, Chopper has just defeated his nemesis droid, right? So this pack's really cool. They work together as the Ghost as well. So while they do work with Rebels and other keywords there, they've got keywords that allow the Ghost crew to work together and do different things, which is going to be pretty fun. There we go. There's our big villain there. So you can't have the Rebels on Lothal without fighting Thrawn. And so we're going to have Agent Callus and his ISB agents, and then Thrawn doing all of this. And so he's got all kinds of cool abilities that are going to bring an extra level to the Empire as they're doing different stuff. That's coming out in August. Here we go. I couldn't tell if I put it in or not, but of course we did. So with more of that Bad Batch from Season 2, we've got our cool Crosshair and his Imperial agents solving stuff out. So as you can tell, we are capturing those cool moments in time with Star Wars Shatterpoint. And, oh, wait, look at that. I put that in there. Look at that. So we've got our cool Mandalorians coming out, right? So Of course, we've got a Mando and Grief Karga and everything there, but you got to have more of that Mando coven. So we've got the armor and the heavy Mandalorian, and of course, a Mandalorian shooting up his rocket, because that's just the coolest thing ever. So this miniature is going to be really fun and provide a lot more to the Mandalorians. These will work with the Mandalorians from the core set, with the Super Commandos and everything there. So all those Mandalorians all work together, because together they are strong. And this is one of the sets I'm really jazzed for. So this year we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back and stuff like that. And so we're really throwing in more of these cool characters. This pack is going to be different than any other pack so far, because they're all secondaries. So for those that play the game, we have like a primary, secondary, and support. For this one, all the bounty hunters here are all secondary miniatures. So they're able to add into any different faction or warband you're using. So of course we've got Boba Fett and Dengar and Bossk and IG-88. When we previewed this at Adepticon, literally like the whole room like blew up with excitement. So we're pretty stoked. This is going to be a pretty cool kit. And then speaking on that Empire Strikes Back, we do have General Veers and the Snow Troopers. They've got a really cool ability where you can full on like bomb drop the board. So instead of just like having abilities from them, they can call in orbital strikes and things like that. We're just going to add a whole new level to the game. Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry, it wasn't working, and I couldn't. It was probably Lando messing with it, right? So, of course, but you got to have Lando Calrissian, one of the best-looking guys in the whole galaxy, right? And so with his cape, of course, he's got Lobot and the Cloud City Police. And Lando's got a cool thing where he can play for the Empire, or he can play for the Rebels, or he can play for Scoundrels. And so he's got abilities where he can change around and do all that. So each little bit has a very, very unique part to it. I'm looking forward to painting up multiple capes. That's a big thing for me, right? So that'll be fun as we get to that, but it's going to be a really fun kit. Same thing, it's a very similar slide, right? So we're coming out with more support across the board. We hear you, we're working on it. So we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff with promo cards. I think the giveaway bag had some cool foil cards there. I've got some at the booth too, so be sure to come by. Also, we just ran a big prize wall at Adepticon where we made a bunch of cool stuff from cards and dice and accessories and things like that. It was a really good way for us to gauge like what people really wanted to get. So now that we kind of have a good mind on that, we're going to look at creating some like smaller kits from that and be like, oh, hey, do you need some dice? Do you need some cards? Let us know. That's still in the works and kind of a thing, but I want to let you know like we are working on that so people can get this for their organized play. So same kind of thing, communication, we're working on it across the board. So if you got questions, hit us up, ask your DU, ask your rep. And now we're going to go into Star Wars Legion. Same kind of thing for all of us. These core boxes are the big thing. So for Star Wars Legion, you got your big set here, which is great. And then our new releases for us, we had the Geonosian Warriors unit, and then we had the Geonosian. Boop. Oh, did I skip one? I skipped it. Oh, and they had their Commander pack too. So we got the kit for the Geonosian Warriors and Sunfac and Poggle. And then our other new release too was Fifth Brother and Seventh Sister. So these I think these they came out a little bit ago, but now they're available everywhere, which is good. I think there's some shipping problems that are now we're all taken care of with those too. And then of course we have the Range Troopers. These are from Star Wars, a solo Star Wars story, right? So these were when they were on the train, doing the whole thing there. So it's kind of cool to add more abilities and troops to the Empire. And then, of course, we've got for Republic clones, we had the clone commanders. A big thing for this, too, is they have a card that allows them to play as the Delta Squad. So for a lot of folks that are big into Star Wars stuff and everything there, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Delta Squad, when are we going to get them? So the clone commanders box will use this, and then you can just have an extra card that'll play them as Delta Squad. We had a whole article up recently on how to paint them differently and do a whole thing, so that'll be super fun. And then, of course, you can't have Bad Batch in this, so now we've got our Bad Batch as well. They play much more how they are in the Clone Wars. So they've got cool, like, sneaky abilities coming in from the sides, doing new tactical operatives, things like that. So this is going to be a really fun set. And this has been a highly anticipated set for Star Wars Legion. So we're very glad to have this out. And then coming out later than Q4, we're coming out with a Rebel Sleeper Cell. Say that right as fast, right? Good morning. And so this is going to be one of our new hard plastic sets, too. So a big thing we announced at Adepticon this year is we're going to be taking a lot of Star Wars Legion stuff from that soft plastic over to that hard plastic, how we do a lot of our Shatterpoint and MCP. And so in that, we're going to have a cool Rebel Sleeper Cell. I got to go a little slower, Ross. And then Imperial Riot Control Squad. So in that, they're going to have more of these K2, very much from that Rogue One, when they're on the, kind of that anticipation is going, who they're going to fight off there. So these are going to work very well together. And this is coming out in Q4. And then also for the Separatists, highly asked, of course, these crab droids are going to be sweet. I wish I had like the thing to look next to it. These are big. So these are like not just tiny little crabs. These are fit in your hand, do some really cool stuff. So we're jazzed to have these out on the field. And then same kind of bit there, right? So we're going to have more kits, more stuff, which we're really looking forward to. So I think that's